The LMC casts a wide net over the Sound Shore to bring you local event info, profiles, and conversations. Recorded in the heart of the village in Mamaroneck Cinemas at the studio on the Avenue, LMC Media brings you the LMC Cast Community Profiles.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this very special edition of the LMC Cast. I am Matt Sullivan, Executive Director of LMC Media, located in the beautiful studio on the Avenue in downtown Mamaroneck, New York. We are here today to talk about one of my favorite events of the year, and that is, of course, the Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade. We're celebrating the 13th anniversary of this wonderful parade that really is here to celebrate both Irish heritage and the American immigrant experience. So I'm pleased to be here with our guests today. I'll start with Miss Kate Bialo, who's a former Grand Marshal and one of our committee members, Mr. Michael Murphy, who's a committee member, and our incoming Grand Marshal, Mr. Matt McCauley. Welcome, everybody, to the program. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Happy to be here.
Let's start off by talking about the parade and what it is, what it represents. So, Kate, I'd like to have you just kick us off here.
Well, it's really a wonderful community celebration, and the community goes from the entire Sound Shore, from East Mount Vernon all the way up to Rhinebeck, and it's just a way for the community to come together and celebrate the fun Irish tradition of St. Patrick's Day, but we have expanded it to also include what we call the American immigrant experience, because obviously we have people from all different countries and different cultures in our community here and throughout the Sound Shore, and so it's only appropriate to celebrate all of these cultures together. So that's what we've done.
Absolutely. And Michael, how did you first get involved in the parade? Tell me a little bit about the Murphy experience in all of this.
Well, as you know, Matt, I work for Murphy Brothers Contracting, my day job there, and the Murphy said to me, "Hey, how would you like to be on LMC-TV at the time, not LMC Media, and would you like to be the broadcaster of the parade?" And of course, I thought that was great. And the next thing you know, I'm on the committee and
you're the guy
helping in the organization of it. So, and I continue because not only that, because I do have Irish heritage. I think of my father, John Murphy, who was a first responder himself. He was a firefighter in upstate New York, and I knew he was always proud that I was involved in helping to organize the parade.
That's great. Well, it's certainly a very proud moment, I think, for everyone who's affiliated with this. So much hard work goes into this parade. The parade committee, really tireless efforts throughout the year. And I don't think people necessarily fully appreciate or understand the amount of work that goes into this. So a huge thanks to our parade committee for making this happen year in and year out. Matt, I want to turn it over to you and just ask about why you decided to take on the honor of Grand Marshal duties this year.
It was brought to me to be the Grand Marshal. I was honored for my name to even come up, and then it kind of built from sort of my involvement as being a first responder and some of the things I had done with 9/11 legislation and getting benefits and health care for people. So I've gotten more involved with it, but it was not an easy thing for me to say yes to. And in the end, what drew me to it was when I spoke to Michael and the parade committee and said I would do it. But in a fleeting moment, I'll be up front, but then afterward, I needed to be behind everybody, because this year we made it into a very special parade where they're going to honor all the 9/11 responders that come from the community. So it wasn't about me being the Grand Marshal. It was more about this entire group of people that I'm honored to be one of them as a first responder from the community and having been down at Ground Zero. So this year we have a nice special touch where we're going to honor all of the responders from all the communities because they responded to Ground Zero and they were part of the rescue and recovery operations. And unfortunately, we've lost a number of them because of their illnesses.
Yeah, all these years later, right?
Yep.
Well, thank you for your service and thank you for agreeing to this position. We're certainly happy to have you on board this year.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Let's talk a little bit about other offerings of the parade. It's not just Parade Day, right? This is about scholarships and helping students. So, Michael or Kate, if you want to weigh in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very important component of the parade, and it's certainly one of the ones that appealed to me when I was first asked to be Grand Marshal in 2020. Every year, historically, the committee has given out 2 scholarships to Sound Shore high school seniors. After I became Grand Marshal and we were going through COVID, we were looking for ways to sort of continue our interaction with the parade, even though we couldn't actually have the parade and didn't for 2 years. And we established the third scholarship. The 2 scholarships we'd had were traditionally for Irish students of Irish heritage, but we added a third one, which we call the Marshall Moore Scholarship, which is supported by the past Grand Marshals, and that is our immigrant experience scholarship, and it's exclusively for high school seniors who are first-generation immigrants in our community. And I have to say, it's incredibly inspiring to read the applications that we get. The number of applications we've been getting has increased every year, as you can imagine, and it's really inspiring because, you know, they talk about how their parents came to this country to get a better life for their children and how hard they work, and they work 3 jobs and so on. And in every case, the kids are incredibly grateful and determined to make sure that they make their parents proud and take advantage of the opportunity that they were given by their parents going through what they went through.
That's a really great offering, right?
Yeah.
And how can people get involved in that, you know, with the scholarship and donating funds or purchasing tickets to certain events that help with that?
Well, one of the events that's coming up is the annual Hearts and Shamrocks. It's the sash presentation, where Matt will be getting his own Grand Marshal sash, and also the charge from the past Grand Marshal, who was Chance Mullen, who I guess he's the current Grand Marshal right now, until that moment there, to lead the parade down Mamaroneck Avenue, which I'd like to just add this, is the misnomer is that the parade is a Mamaroneck parade because it marches down Mamaroneck Avenue. But that's not true. So we march down Mamaroneck Avenue because it's the nicest place to march this side of Dublin's Fair City. We start at Mamaroneck Avenue School, and we march down to the harbor, where we all enjoy the hospitality tent at the end. Right. Music by School of Rock, you know, refreshments and that type. So, but the parade represents the whole Sound Shore community from Portchester down to Montford and East, as we say. Kind of that train line that you take when you're coming out of Manhattan. Right. So that's our community, and it represents everyone, not only the Irish Americans, but also those of the immigrant heritage, you know, so the experience that they've had here, because, as we like to say, we're all from someplace else originally.
Right. And accessibility is key. I'm glad that you mentioned Metro North, because this studio space that we're in right now is, of course, about a 5-minute walk, and I think the start of the parade is about a 5-minute walk as well from Mamaroneck Station. So for anyone who's in the area, they can certainly jump on the train and safely get back and forth as necessary.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit more about the parade day and the mechanics of that. So we talked about the parade committee. Does anybody care to weigh in on the actual day of, start time, how people can get involved, if they're interested in, you know, becoming a marcher or a band that's interested?
Well, I think Kate, having gone through the experience of being a Grand Marshal herself, talking to someone who hasn't been through that, she might want to tell them what to expect.
Well, the parade starts at 1:30, am I right? Kicks off down at, as Michael said, at Mamaroneck Avenue School. If you are a community organization in the Sound Shore, like Girl Scouts or Larchmont Mamaroneck Lions or Furniture Share House, some nonprofit or social service agency that would like to march in the parade with your own banner and your own group of people, we welcome all community groups to do that. And if you go to the best thing to do for any of this information is to go to our website, which is soundshoreparade.com. Soundshoreparade.com?
That's it.
Okay, soundshoreparade.com. And we have all the information you need to sign up to participate in the parade if you have a group that wants to do that. But I want to go back to Michael mentioning the Hearts and Shamrocks. That is our big fundraiser that supports the parade. The parade isn't free. It costs money to pay the bands and the dancers and the groups that participate and make it such a fun event. So our Hearts and Shamrocks fundraiser is what day? It's March 6th. March 6th. That's
7 to 10 at Hampshire Country Club.
Yes, and this is the way that you can actually directly come and support the parade by buying a ticket, inviting your friends, and come and enjoy a really fun evening of Irish music, Irish dance, and great food, and open bar, by the way. Something the Irish specialize in, right? And I am of Irish heritage, thank you. So.
Right. By the way, Matt, there are 3 ways that you can enjoy the parade on that day. One is actually to march in the parade behind Matt McCauley, who will be leading the parade down Mamaroneck Avenue. The second way is to watch on the sidelines and wave and enjoy it with your family. And the third way is to watch it on LMC Media, which this year, again, is being sponsored by Orange Bank and Trust. We're delighted to have them.
Yes, thank you, Marie.
Yes, thank you, Marie, and the people, the fine folks at Orange Bank and Trust. You're great. So, but as Kate mentioned, that people want to get involved, and we'd love to have communities throughout the Sound Shore. The chamber. I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Mamaroneck, and so I'd love to reach out to the other chamber presidents and their members and tell them to come and march with us.
Right.
This is a very special parade, as Matt had mentioned, that we're highlighting the service of the first responders in our community. And Matt, if you want to go into that one more time, just so they understand what that's all about.
Well, I think it also embodies the Irish heritage because you have a strong feeling of humility, as it's a very humble group, and service to others. That is one thing that this is truly a group of people who have dedicated themselves to. So everybody's Irish that day. And with respect to the first responders, the goal is to have as many people come as possible. So it's an opportunity for all of the local volunteer organizations, whether they're ambulance corps, fire departments, the paid police departments, the paid fire departments, because they're all part of this. And the reason that I thought it was so important to highlight it is because this community responded down to ground zero, and this community backed up the city. And then afterward, everybody went back to work. Because remember, it wasn't just the responders who were down there. We turned around a couple of days later to show the rest of the world we weren't going to back down to terrorism, and people went back to work. Thousands and thousands of people went back to work downtown. Those folks have unfortunately also become ill. They're part of this. So it's an opportunity to really highlight the service from the community. Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department, the Village of Mamaroneck Fire Department, the City of New Rochelle Fire Department. The City of New Rochelle was one of the first fire departments to respond down to ground zero. They've lost members as a result of this. The Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department has lost members. Port Chester has lost people. White Plains have lost people. These are people who are in our community. These are people who, their kids go to our schools. As they've grown up as our friends. And it's an opportunity to, if you're on the side, to support the businesses. Number one. Number two is nice clap and a nice wave for everybody coming down.
Yep.
For the folks in the parade, it's an opportunity to be in the parade. And whether it's Iona College, they've got a great bagpipe group too. So anybody else, bring them in, let them have a good day.
Smiles all around, a win-win for the community that you spoke about, community at large. And really, it's just a day of celebration. Again, one of my favorite days of the year here in the Village of Mamaroneck. So I want to thank all of you for being here and say again, you can watch us, this parade on lmcmedia.org, sponsored by Orange Bank and Trust. We'll be seeing you on the avenue, as it were. So on that note, Sláinte, be well.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the LMC Cast Community Profiles, produced at LMC Media's studio on the Avenue. Visit lmcmedia.org to book your time in this state-of-the-art convenient location, walkable from the Metro North train station on Mamaroneck Avenue. You can also support this nonprofit media center at lmcmedia.org/donate.